Hey everyone, my name is Charles and I'm a software engineer, and I've been programming for quite some time, and I realized that a lot of people are trying to break into tech, and as I'm learning I thought it'd be actually beneficial to share my knowledge, and as I continue to grow as an engineer and mostly as a computer scientist, I get to share what I'm learning and how I learn, and hopefully it benefits some. And yeah, so what I decided to do uh, is essentially have a pet project. And this pet project is going to live in my own code base. I'm going to be using several tools to explain as I go through this project. So what you're seeing here is a ScalaDraw, which is what I'll be using to explain core concepts and design things and build things. So we'll mostly be using basic shapes to detail very complex operations and even very simple ones. So, for example, if I wanted to cover um, inheritance, we can talk about like the top. We'll get into what objects are, but we'll get into like the base object in Java, and how everything essentially inherits from that object. So that's something that we'll talk about. Uh, Even if we want to go talk about types, or if we want to define our own classes, right? So if we have an animal, right, and we have types of animals which inherit from animal. For example, you can have dogs, which are a type of animal. Cats, which are also a type of animal. If you want to get really specific, right, you can say feline, and you could say something like house cat. And what I'm doing here is I'm just showing off the tool and some of the ideas that we'll be able to showcase using this tool. You can have online, for example. Right, and you can go on and on and on. So I'll erase everything now. The next screen that we'll look at is essentially going to be the home base for our application. So I went ahead and did some groundwork to build an API, or application programming interface. And we'll learn more about what an API is and what it's used for. But for now, all you need to know is that this is going to be our main screen. And it's where I'll be building out core functionality. As I'm a backend engineer, we'll start with the backend and then we'll make our way through the front end as we define what the project is and essentially what we'll be building and how we'll be using that to detail both um, low and high level concepts. The next thing that we'll be looking at is the IDE that I'm going to be using. So I prefer working in IntelliJ, and I really enjoy working in IntelliJ just because it offers a lot out of the box. Right now I'm using the Community Edition, and it offers so many things out of the box. And you can see here, this is kind of like the beginning of our application. And I called it BookTube because that is my favorite community on YouTube. As you can tell, I really enjoy reading, and I thought I could build something for that community as my way of participating. And you'll see, as you saw here, uh, we'll like this is the greeting object, and we'll talk about what classes are and what longs are, and like the final keyword and what a string is. And if we actually deep dive, we'll see that a string actually implements a lot of other core classes, and you can go pretty deep into this. Yeah. So so this is our greeting, the controllers. We'll talk about what a controller is, and I'm basically trying to use model view controller paradigm, and we'll talk about why that's important, especially when it comes to abstracting your code, which is really important, especially when you're working on more and more complex projects. But yeah, that's I just wanted to introduce that. And we'll be going through all of this. It's a pretty standard Java project, and we'll be working in Java as that is my bread and butter. It's something that I use quite a bit during my day to day. I also I used to believe that it was a very verbose language, and you had to do a lot to say very little. But the more I mature, the more I realize that Java is um, kind of one of the best middle grounds because you get a lot of protection from the computer, but at the same time you can build really really giant things and very complex pieces of software, which a lot of the tech that we use is based off of. So I hope you're ready for the journey. We're going to be doing a lot of learning together, and yeah, thank you.